The truth about nursing homes, what no one tells you. Have you ever thought about what life is really like inside a nursing home? Many of us believe it's a place of care, comfort, and security. But what if I told you that the reality is often very different from what we expect? For many people, moving into a nursing home seems like the safest choice, a place where we'll have support, medical care, and less stress. But what happens when that choice comes with unexpected consequences? What if you lose your independence faster than you imagined? What if your family visits less and less over time? What if leaving isn't as easy as you thought? Today, we're going to talk about 6 things I wish I had known before moving into a nursing home. Things that could have changed my decision completely. If you or a loved one are considering this move, you need to hear this first. Stay with me until the end, because some of these truths may surprise you and might just change the way you think about aging and independence. Let's get started. 1. Regret losing your independence. When you think about moving into a nursing home, you might believe that it's just a change in where you live. But what many of us don't realize is that it's also a change in how much control we have over our own lives. Before moving in, we decide when to wake up, what to eat, when to take a walk, and how to spend the day. But once inside, everything runs on someone else's schedule, not ours. Meals are served at a fixed time, whether we're hungry or not. Lights go out at a set hour, even if we're not ready for bed. If we want to go outside, we often have to wait until someone is available to assist us. Simple decisions like what to eat or what to wear suddenly feel like privileges instead of basic choices. Think about the first morning you wake up in a place that no longer feels like home. You reach for your favorite book, but it's not there. The chair you always sat in is gone. Instead, you're surrounded by sterile walls, in a bed you didn't choose, following a routine that isn't yours. That's when it hits you. Your independence is no longer in your hands. At first, we may try to push back. We ask if we can eat later, but the answer is always the same. This is the schedule. We want to go for a walk, but we have to wait. Slowly, we stop asking, stop deciding, and start adjusting to a system that was never built for us as individuals. And it's not just you. We all start losing pieces of ourselves. People who were once independent, full of opinions and routines, now simply go along with what is planned for them. The loss of independence doesn't happen overnight. It happens in small moments, when we stop questioning, when we stop choosing, when we stop feeling in control. So before making this decision, ask yourself, are you ready to give up the small freedoms that make life yours? Because once they're gone, you will miss them more than you ever thought possible. 2. Regret feeling forgotten. When we think about moving into a nursing home, many of us believe that our family will still be there for us. We trust that our loved ones will visit often, that we will stay connected, and that life will continue much like before. But the truth is, once we move in, life outside keeps moving, just without us. At first, everything seems fine. Our family promises to visit, and in the beginning, they do. We hear their laughter, share stories, and feel like we are still a part of their world. Our children stop by every week, our grandchildren visit on weekends, and for a while, we feel included. But then, things begin to change. Our children start calling instead of coming. Our grandchildren get busier with school, work, and their own lives. Holidays become quieter as plans change or get canceled at the last minute. At first, we tell ourselves, they must be busy. They'll come next week. It's just a hectic time. But as time passes, the visits become less frequent, the calls become shorter, and suddenly, we realize we are watching life move on without us. We sit in our rooms, staring at the phone, debating whether to call. We want to hear their voices, to feel included, but we don't want to be a burden. We don't want to remind them that we are here, waiting for a visit that may never come. So we put the phone down, and that's when it hits us. This is our life now. We start seeing it in others too. We watch residents sitting in common areas, staring at the door, hoping today will be the day someone remembers them. Some even keep their best clothes ready, just in case a visitor shows up. But many days, no one comes. It's not that our families stop loving us. It's just that, when we are no longer part of their daily lives, it's easy for them to assume we are fine. They think, Mom has nurses looking after her. Dad is comfortable. They don't need as much attention. But what they don't realize is that we still need to feel remembered, included, and valued. So before making this decision, we must ask ourselves, are we prepared for the loneliness? Because no matter how much our families love us, once we are out of sight, it's easier than we think to become out of mind. 3. Regret. Losing your sense of purpose. When you think about moving into a nursing home, you might believe that life will continue as usual, just in a different place. But what many of us don't realize is that moving into a nursing home doesn't just change where we live, it changes why we live. At home, we have routines, responsibilities, and small daily tasks that give life meaning. Maybe you start your mornings watering the plants, making a cup of coffee exactly how you like it, or reading the newspaper in your favorite chair. You have hobbies, things to look forward to, and little moments that make each day feel fulfilling. But in a nursing home, everything is done for you. Meals are prepared and served at a set time. There's no cooking, no choice, just a plate in front of you. Cleaning is taken care of by the staff. Your space is tidy, but it no longer feels like yours. There's no need to shop for groceries, fix things around the house, or even decide how to spend your time. At first, we might tell ourselves, this is nice. No more chores, no more responsibilities. But after a while, we begin to feel empty, restless, like something is missing. We see this not just in ourselves, but in the people around us. Take George, for example. He was a carpenter. His whole life was about creating, fixing, and working with his hands. At home, he was always busy, building small projects, repairing furniture, keeping his mind and body active. But once he moved into the nursing home, there were no tools, no projects, no purpose. One day, he looked at us and said, "I feel useless." His hands, once strong and skilled, now sat idle in his lap. And we knew exactly what he meant. When we no longer have something to take care of, something to look forward to, life starts to lose its meaning. The days feel long, stretched out with nothing to do but wait. Wait for meals, wait for visitors, wait for time to pass. We see it in the eyes of the residents, the ones who used to be full of life, now just sit, stare, and wait. This is the part no one tells us about. Losing our sense of purpose isn't just about feeling bored, it's about feeling like we no longer matter. If you're thinking about moving into a nursing home, ask yourself, what gives your life meaning? Because once you move in, finding purpose isn't as simple as keeping busy. It's about holding on to the things that make you feel alive. 4. Regret. Declining health faster than expected. When we think about moving into a nursing home, we often assume that we will continue to live as we always have, just with a little extra help. We believe that we will stay active, move around, and enjoy our daily routines. But what many of us don't realize is that the less we do for ourselves, the weaker we become, much faster than we ever expected. Before moving in, we might still feel capable, independent, and strong enough to take care of ourselves. Maybe we are not running marathons, but we can go for walks, cook our meals, and keep up with simple tasks. But once we enter a nursing home, everything is designed to make things easier, and that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Meals are brought to us, so we no longer stand in the kitchen to cook. If we need something, we press a button and someone helps us, so we stop moving around as much. There's less reason to walk, stretch, or stay active, so our muscles slowly weaken. At first, it just feels like we are taking it easy. But before we know it, standing up from a chair feels harder, our legs feel weaker, and simple movements take more effort. I saw this happen not just to myself, but to many others. Take Alice, for example. She was 81 years old and full of energy when she first arrived. She told everyone that she wasn't going to slow down just because of a number. She took daily walks around the facility, determined to keep her strength and independence. But as months passed, she started walking less and less. At first, it was just skipping a few walks. Then, she started using a walker. Then one day, she needed a wheelchair. One afternoon, she looked at me and said, "I don't know when it happened, but I feel like I aged 10 years in just a few months." And that's exactly what happens. The less we use our bodies, the faster we lose them. This is something no one warns us about. In a nursing home, everything is set up to make life effortless. But in making things easier, it also makes us weaker. If we stop using our muscles, we lose them. If we stop walking, we forget how. And once we start relying on others to do everything for us, it becomes harder and harder to do anything for ourselves. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, will you still have the motivation to keep moving, to stay strong, to push yourself? Because once you slow down, getting back up isn't as easy as you think. 5. Regret, losing privacy and dignity. When we think about moving into a nursing home, we assume that we will still have our personal space, our routines, and our dignity intact. We may believe that we will be able to close our doors when we want privacy, choose how we spend our time, and still feel in control of our daily lives. But the truth is, privacy in a nursing home is a luxury that quickly disappears. At home, we have the freedom to wake up when we want, sit in silence if we choose, and enjoy personal moments without interruption. But inside a nursing home, privacy is something that must be shared, scheduled, or sometimes completely sacrificed. Staff members come in and out of the room frequently, often without much warning. Room checks and scheduled care visits make it feel like we are constantly being monitored. Many residents must share a room, meaning personal space no longer truly exists. Even simple things, getting dressed, taking a shower, or using the bathroom, suddenly require assistance. While the caregivers are only doing their jobs, it's difficult to accept that things we once did for ourselves now require help. We no longer have the ability to choose when we want to be alone, when we want to socialize, or when we just need a moment to ourselves. Instead, our days revolve around a schedule that was not made for us. And then, there's the reality of sharing a room. Not everyone gets a private space, and having a roommate means that we no longer have full control over our surroundings. What if they are loud? What if they have different sleeping habits? What if they don't respect our space? Some of us are lucky to have kind, respectful roommates, but others find themselves stuck in uncomfortable, frustrating situations, ones they can't escape from. I remember hearing residents whisper about how they no longer felt like themselves. They felt like they had become just another patient in a system, rather than an individual with a life of their own. Dignity is something we don't realize we'll lose until it's already gone. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to give up the privacy and control you've had your entire life? Because once it's gone, it's nearly impossible to get it back. 6. Regret, realizing it's harder to leave than you think. When we consider moving into a nursing home, we often tell ourselves, if I don't like it, I can always leave. We believe that if things don't feel right, we'll have the option to go back home and return to our old way of life. But what many of us don't realize is that once we move in, leaving is not as simple as we thought. At first, it seems like a temporary choice, a trial period, to see if the nursing home is the right fit. But as time passes, we begin to see the barriers that make it harder and harder to leave. Our home may no longer be available. While we're adjusting to life in the nursing home, our family might be making permanent decisions about our old home, selling it, renting it out, or giving away our belongings. We start losing our physical strength. In the nursing home, we don't move around as much, we rely on assistance, and we slowly stop doing things for ourselves. Over time, it becomes harder to regain independence, making it physically difficult to return home. Family members may hesitate to support our decision to leave. They may worry about whether we can live alone, whether we'll be safe, or if we'll need extra care. Even if we feel ready to go back, they may not agree. I've seen many people come in thinking they would only stay for a little while, only to realize that months have passed, then years, and suddenly leaving feels impossible. Take Helen, for example. She moved in, expecting to stay for just a few months while she recovered from an injury. She kept telling herself, as soon as I feel better, I'll go home. But while she was in the nursing home, her house was sold, her furniture was given away, and her physical strength declined. When she finally said she was ready to leave, there was nowhere to go back to. This is the part that no one tells us about. Moving in feels like a decision we can undo, but for most of us, it isn't. The longer we stay, the more we lose our independence, our ability to live on our own, and even the choice to leave. So before making this decision, ask yourself, are you truly prepared for the possibility that once you go in, you may never leave? Because once we settle in, the barriers, whether financial, physical, or emotional, may be harder to overcome than we ever expected. The value of independence, purpose, and a positive outlook on life. As we grow older, our choices shape the quality of the years ahead. One of the biggest lessons from those who have moved into nursing homes is this: once independence is given up, getting it back is not easy. It's not just about where we live, but how much control we still have over our daily lives, when to wake up, what to eat, and how we spend our time. In a place where everything is decided for us, we may slowly lose our sense of self, our purpose, and even our physical strength. Many who enter nursing homes believe it's a temporary solution, only to realize that leaving is much harder than they imagined. Physical decline happens faster when we stop doing things for ourselves, and once we adjust to a system of dependence, regaining freedom becomes a challenge. But here's the truth: life is not just about living longer, it's about living with purpose. No matter where you are, you still have so much value to offer the world. Instead of fading into the background, find ways to make yourself valuable. Write a book, share your wisdom online, or tell your life stories to inspire others. Teach younger generations what you've learned about life, work, and relationships. Engage with people beyond your immediate surroundings. Connect with the world through social media, just like we are communicating right now through this screen. At the same time, sometimes moving into a nursing home is not just about losing independence. It can be a chance to gain something new. It may give us more time to focus on ourselves, to rest, to reflect, and to appreciate life in a different way. Instead of thinking of it as the end of independence, we can see it as an opportunity for new friendships, new experiences, and a new way to enjoy life. No matter where you are, if you have hope, if you have purpose, and if you believe in the good in life, your home is wherever you choose to make it. Home is not just a place, it is the way you feel, the people you connect with, and the perspective you bring to each day. So whether you stay in your own home or move into a nursing home, remember this: your life is still yours to shape. What matters most is not where you live, but how you choose to live. Finding meaning. No matter where life takes you. After everything we've explored in this video, one thing is clear: moving into a nursing home is a life-changing decision, and it's important to think about what truly matters most. Instead of focusing on what we might lose, let's ask ourselves, how can I continue to live with purpose and joy, no matter where I am? What can I do to stay connected, share my wisdom, and keep learning every day? How can I embrace this stage of life as an opportunity for new experiences, new friendships, and a deeper sense of peace? Life is what we make of it. Whether we stay in our own homes or move into a nursing facility, what truly matters is how we choose to live each day. Stay connected to the world. Your stories, your wisdom, and your experiences are valuable. Find joy in small moments, a meaningful conversation, a good book, or a peaceful morning. Remember that home is not just a place, but the feeling of being surrounded by love, purpose, and positivity. No matter where we are, if we live with gratitude, connection, and a belief in the beauty of life, then every place can feel like home. Now I'd love to hear from you. What are the things that bring you the most joy and fulfillment in life? How do you continue to find purpose and happiness in each day? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might need a little light today. Thank you for being here. And remember, your life is still yours to shape, no matter where you are.